What's your process for creating each episode of Trailer Hitch? And tell us more about Trailer Hitch.
Oh, well, Trailer Hitch is like the, Trailer Hitch is just something that I just super enjoy doing. Mostly because Allan Havey, who plays kind of crotchety Uncle Al, is somebody, great actor, great comedian, who's been on everything from, Curb Your Enthusiasm to Louie, and he had his own show, Night After Night with Allan Havey, which was sort of like the evolution of the David Letterman show. Really interesting, and he's at the Improv all day. He's a great, funny comedian and actor. I've known him forever, and he's a hardcore movie geek. But he's also a generation older than myself. And we've always had this sort of like, I don't know if it's a sort of a collision of generations, but we've always had this banter. Whenever we go see a movie together, which we do, or we watch a movie together, there's this thing that happens. And I don't pretend to be a comic like Allan. I mean, Allan is a professional comedian. And I prefer to be sort of the straight man to his comic, ability. So really it just becomes about him kind of letting it rip with these kind of philosophies or attitudes about a genre, whether it's a zombie movie or a vampire movie, or what he thinks that zombie, like in this episode of we did on World War Z, which is the Brad Pitt sort of epic zombie movie coming out based on the book, which is a whole world, swarming with zombies. And we watched that trailer. Uncle Al's response to zombies: zombies don't run. Zombies are slow and disoriented. And remember in the old days when zombies were just sort of stumbling, and I'm trying to explain to him as a slightly younger viewer that since like 28 days later zombies run, and that it's not just walking, stumbling. And so this whole sort of natural banter kind of comes out as we watch these trailers, and it's very loose, it's very improvised. What he does is we decide on a trailer that we want to review, or not even review really, it's just kind of just observe and comment on. And then Allan goes home and essentially sort of bullet points, almost like punchlines, that he knows what he's going to get into. And then I just sort of set it up and just like really react to what he says, because what he tends to say is usually fairly outlandish. So all I have to do is go, huh, or what? Like I'm basically like Bud Abbott to his Lou Costello. He can just go crazy and I'll just go, like, give a look. And that's really how we do it. So we just kind of, literally, we come into this room here and we set up like just 2 mics, and we plug in, we put earphones, we share earphones, we look at the trailer on a laptop, and then we just let it run, and then we run it like 3 or 4 times, and we just do it. And then I just end up editing the best bits together. And then we send it to an animator, Oliver Deere, who was actually my art director on Some Guy Who Kills People. He did all the illustrations, all the comic book illustrations in Some Guy. And he animates it for us. So he animates it to the audio track, and then we sort of just come back here and put it all together. But it's fun. It's like, it's not so much scripted as just sort of a recorded conversation, or sometimes a rant, sometimes. So
he had a funny take on people that watch The Hobbit. Like they all eat fruit and they smell funny, and they couldn't get a job at the Renaissance Fair or something like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's so funny. The Hobbit, the thing is that The Hobbit, it's so interesting. We talk about YouTube. We did this episode on The Hobbit. And I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, and I'm a big fan, and it's interesting because Uncle Al's take on The Hobbit is exactly what you're talking about. Like, what is this? What are these dwarves and elves, and what is that? It's like an old, like very much like an Archie Bunker, like a sort of like semi-ignorant character who has no problem pontificating and spouting whatever, even if he doesn't really know about it, or even if he does know about it, but. So many Hobbit fans or Lord of the Rings fans or took offense. They're like, I hate Uncle Al, and he doesn't know. How dare you say anything? And it's like, it's a cartoon. It's not like somebody coming out and it's a comedy piece. So it's interesting to see how passionate. For me, like if you love something, it's okay to make fun of it. I mean, it's actually better to make fun of something that you love. But it's interesting to see how protective people are of it. So. I keep seeing different comments. Some people are like, take it easy, this is really funny, this is not meant to offend Lord of the Rings fans. And I'm constantly saying, hey, look, I'm a fan, I know, Uncle Al's just a character, so it's interesting. It's very interesting.
So you reply to these comments?
I do. It's funny, ordinarily I wouldn't, but part of the whole YouTube experience. And again, I'm a newbie in this world. Is sort of the communication or engagement. I think that's one of the things that's different about television, or certainly different from television, is that there is a communication that goes on between the people who make the shows and the people who watch the shows. In that, on any given YouTube video, there's obviously a million comments if something is interesting or inflammatory, or whatever people comment. And YouTube actually encourages the people who make the videos, at least for their premium channels, to engage, because that's part of the experience, is saying, you know, hey, you know, this is what we meant, or, you know, like, or thanks for some people just leave very nice comments, and you're like, thanks, you know, for watching, and, you know, next week we're going to do this movie. And so I think that's part of that world. But I'm so used to movies where basically, you know, making a movie, you put it out there and maybe you read a couple of reviews, and as long as somebody doesn't send you, you know, dog shit in the mail or a hate letter or something, then that's basically it. That's the end of the communication, you know. So yeah.